So let's see what does the column is to say for today. Hopefully you all can see this. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Very good, Anikya. Okay. So what Dr. Kalam talks about success today. He says you need difficulties because they are necessary to enjoy the success. Right? So very important. If you don't have any challenges, I'll change us. I'll change his challenges. I'll change the difficulties to challenges. Right? Man needs his challenges because they are necessary to enjoy the success. Right? So what does it mean? Before I explain further, so what does Dr. Kalam mean by this statement? Change the difficulties to challenges. Okay. What do you understand by this statement?
In difficulties only we should know our strength.
Okay, correct. Any other answer? Is there any other answer? Hello. Why is the class silent today?
Success needs strength, sir. So by the strength only we can overcome the difficulties.
Right. Okay. Yeah, if you don't, there is no difficulty, there's no challenges, then let's not say difficult, let's say challenges, right? Which is more positive way of saying the thing, right? So if you don't have challenges, you will be in the same place. You know, you'll not able to go one step ahead. No, we had a meeting of the volunteers today, and that's what we said in the meeting also. So we need to raise the bar. Let's say you are used to certain comfort, we have to bring you out of the comfort a little bit, right? So you'll get prepared more. So you have to go to learn a little bit more, right? Let's say you are learned, say 2 chapters today. You are every day for 10 days, you are learning 2 chapters on some particular subject, right? And next day, so next week also you want to learn 2 chapters, it'll be very easy for you, correct? Because you already did that for 1 week. So I'll change that to, you learn 3 chapters this week. Okay. You understand? So I'm going to increase increasing the challenge for you. First week you read 2 chapters, right? And next say in a subject. Next week I'm saying you read 3 chapters or 3 pages, whatever actually, right? So slowly I'm increasing the bar. What do you say is increase the bar, right? You are increasing the complexity or difficulty. You are making it more challenging. That will make you to enjoy the success. So can you think of any other example? I'll give you one example, right? Can you think of any other example?
While doing the gym, increasing the dumbbell weights.
Very good, very good. Okay. Very good. So how will you increase it?
Today, if we lift the 5 kgs, by lifting 5 kgs in a week, after week we increase 5 more kgs.
No, 1 kg. No, you don't increase by 5 kg. 5 kg becomes 6 kg, right? Slowly you have to increase.
Okay, sir.
Okay, any other examples? Very good example, by the way. Any other
Thank
example?
you, sir.
Any other example? Anyone else? We have to interact. I told you, right? We discussed, we'll talk about evaluation criteria. I think I posted somewhere. Yeah, let me see where is it, right? So we are going to observe we have more volunteers today onwards. We are being observed for how you interact also. You'll get marks for that also. If you keep quiet, 0 marks. Okay. I told you, right? By learning only, you will understand, right? One second, one of the students wants help. Just give me a minute. Rekha wants a help. Oh, it's not going to. Okay. Any other answers?
If we are given any task and we should submit it within the deadline, which is very close.
Okay. Okay. Now, how does it relate to this particular statement? How do you correlate?
It's a challenge for the people who has to submit the task within the deadline.
But that is a bad practice. It's a bad example, right? Either the student has delayed, he had stuck with, maybe he was sick, there are valid reasons are there, or he was busy with some other work, so he submitted late, or faculty also made a mistake, he gives assignment in 1 day notice. That is also a bad example. Okay.
Yes.
So let's look at some positive example. Like the gym example was a very good example. Use the practical, not engineering. Look at practical stages.
So while saving the money, today we have to save 100, tomorrow we have to save 200. That is.
Yeah, that's a big one. Again, 100 to 110. Take one step at a time. Don't jump 10 steps, actually, right? Right, you're earning 1 crore rupees, then you can save 200 rupees. But you're earning only 1,000 rupees. You said 100 rupees this month. Next month you want to save 200 rupees. How it will be possible? You're earning only 1,000 rupees, right? Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
110 rupees. So save 10 rupees in addition. That means you have to cut your expenses with 10 rupees. Right? Very good example. Okay. So let's go back to our class. Okay, guys, you have any doubts from the previous classes? We have a quiz tomorrow. Right? So tomorrow 2 o'clock we'll have a quiz. Some mostly MCQ type. We don't know. Still we are working on the question paper. So any questions? This is expectations what we had said. So I just want to, because we have completed 1 month, right? Right. So timelines, I think you already know about timelines are important. I think we specify a time, give assignment. Right. Skipping classes, as you guys are not skipping, and you skip only if you send a message, but post in the classroom. Don't send me a message independently, right? Then I will ask all the volunteers to track. So I'll add all the volunteers as the faculties in the classroom. So post it in the classroom if you're not attending. Okay. Tell what date, what time you're not attending. Post it in the class. Don't send a WhatsApp to me. I'm not able to notice because one of the students just said she doesn't have a link, right? Because I'm in the class. So fortunately, I saw the phone, but I'm not attending the phone, right? I'm in the class. So post it in the classroom so one of the volunteers can help you, right? So don't send chat messages. You will miss the messages sometimes, right? Particularly when you're close to the class or something. So always post in the classroom so more people will have visibility. If you're not able to access the classroom, at least put it in the WhatsApp group. I'll add all the volunteers on the via WhatsApp. Last week I did that, right? On Sunday I was getting delayed. I was outside because my lunch got delayed. I sent a message saying that there'll be a few minutes, right? So you have to, timeline is very important. You have to notify in advance if you're skipping the classes, you're getting late, whatever, right? And yeah, somebody said, Harika said he's no calendar invite. So why you're checking that at 7:05 p.m. Can you check it? Always check 1 hour before. You have all the links and everything, right? So this is getting more organized. It's very important. Okay, taking own notes. I think you're all doing that. So volunteers will watch that. So I've told them. So writing notes and doing. So are you people doing buddy reviews like we discussed last week? Anybody not doing buddy reviews? Everybody is doing it. And absolute silence. Hello. I'm also going to remain silent. Let us see what happens. Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
We are
sir.
making notes, sir.
So what? But you're working note. But are you reviewing with your partner or buddy?
Yes, sir.
Everyone? Anyone not
Yes, sir.
doing? Anyone not doing, please admit. You'll not get attendance if you don't review, right? So I'll try and do it, and so we'll announce it formally. So if you're not finishing your class notes on time and doing the buddy reviews, so I told my volunteers to not to give attendance, even though you attend the class, you are not reviewing your notes, your other friend or a buddy will not mark you as a present in the class. Okay. So please take it seriously. And I told same thing to volunteers also. They also have to take notes. That's how you learn. Not only in this class, any class you attend, you do that. Right? It's best practices I'm teaching you. Okay. And we will not follow up anything. So you make sure that you do on your own. Put your best effort. So how much effort you should spend? Every 1 hour of class, we take 3 hours of class every week, right? So how much time you should spend?
Sir, are you asking for reviewing the concepts
no.
or taking classes?
No. Yeah, no, you're attending 3 hours class in a week, correct?
Yes, sir.
I told you the expectations, how much time you should spend in revising and practicing, things like that, right? How much time you
Yeah.
should spend?
Maybe 2 hours, sir.
Any other answers? I'll not tell the answer because, yeah, I don't want to tell for whatever reason. So you guys have to figure it out. If you've taken your notes, you should go and check it there. We definitely explained it in the first few classes.
It's about 3 hours.
For 3 hours classes, what we do, right? So you revise your notes. Okay, let's go first. Okay, let's go to the actual class. So look at all these things. Expectations you should always meet. Okay, so be creative. So we'll again look at the next month. So I want you to self-rate and tell me by 15th of June you're doing all these things or not. We'll make it as assignment. So you have to make sure that you're following all these things, expectations. Okay, very important. So every month we'll look at this slide and see maybe or make sure that you're following all these things or not. Okay, is that fine?
Yes, sir.
Yes. And you see, you have to ask as many questions as possible. Okay, it's extremely important. If you want to learn, you have to ask questions. Then you will learn. We're just entering the subject. We are not even gone to the subject. We have just learned Linux. We are learning the basics of the product. So you have to ask questions. So, okay, what are the different questions? How do you frame questions? This also we spoke. I'm trying to revise what we learned in last month, important concepts. What kind of questions you can ask? How do you make sure that you understand the concept properly?
By asking the WH questions.
What kind of questions?
What, when, how, where.
Very good. Very good. Okay, super. Okay, let's go to the slides. Let's start the class. Okay. I think so. Up to what we covered last week. Let me see. I think we are talking about, we covered this complete the strategy phase and we are in the planning phase. So did we complete this last week? Did we complete it or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It was complete.
Okay. So can
Yes,
one of you summarize what did we discuss in the planning phase so we can go to next phase? What are the things we are doing? You have some points written here. You can look at the talk. You can check your class notes if you want. So what are the things we discussed in the planning phase?
In planning phase, we have discussed about budget, sir. Budget depends on expenditure, which we invest on the making of product. And coming to scheduling, doing things particular things according to time. We have to design and product within a particular time. And future set planning, it is about you have asked the questions about the feature sets of several electronic devices, sir.
Okay. Very good. Okay. So let's get to the execution phase, right? So we have two types of execution. One is pre-silicon, one is post-silicon. Pre-silicon is your design phase, design verification. We'll see that in more detail as we move forward. So this is basically execution phase. So what we call, this is a tape out is important milestone. That's what it's called here. GDS is some format. What is the full form? GDS2 is a format we send it to something called a foundry. What is a foundry? What is called a foundry? Anyone knows? Foundry is a place where your chips are fabricated. We all know what is a chip, right? What is a chip? What is a chip?
A chip is an integrated circuit. It is made up of gates.
Okay.
And
Very
it
good.
has some logic.
Some logic, yes. There is some logic, some digital design, analog design, whatever. Some logic is present there, right? So you'll be generating a GDS format, which we'll see in detail later. Right? So note called GDS. You can search to Google and see GDS2. Numeral 2 will be written, right? Numeral 2. It was written like this. So you can write in the slide. This is where numeral 2 is written. Okay, this is numeral 2. This is numeral 2, okay? So GDS2, you can search in the thing, then you will be able to find what is it. Some format which is given to a place where they fabricate your chip. Okay, so that is one major milestone. We call that as tape out. TAPE, tape, OUT, out. Okay, so it is one of the major milestones in the product development cycle. So what is called milestone? What do you understand by milestone? Have you heard the name called milestone before?
It's something like achievement or reaching the target.
Can you give me some examples? In human life cycle, we spoke about a human life cycle, right? So what are the different milestones in human life cycle?
For some people, getting a job or getting a promotion.
Look at baby is born. Do you get a job and promotion directly? So what is the life cycle? Baby is born, let us say, right?
He starts walking or he
Very good. He's crawling. First is crawling, right? His first teeth comes. Right now that you have mobile phone, baby is born, people take a photo and put in the social media, right? Instagram or Facebook or whatever, right? Every single milestone, baby takes a first step, or it tumbles down upside down, started crawling. First teeth comes. First tells it's called the daddy or mommy in a local language, whatever, right? And first time it takes off food, right? So those are milestones, basically, correct? Don't go to a job and promotion. Just take small things, right? The kid goes to school first day, that's a milestone, correct? Kid finishes the kindergarten course of first standard, that's a milestone. This days you have a graduation ceremony and everything, correct? Okay. Okay. So this product life cycles also will have different milestones. Okay, tape out is one of the milestones. There are many milestones will be there. Major milestones, minor milestones, which we'll see later when we do project planning, we'll talk about it. Okay. So tape out, you can write down tape out is one of the milestones. TAPE, tape, OUT, out. That's one of the major milestones. So that means you have finished your complete design. You have made sure that your design is working in the pre-silicon. So that is what we call pre-silicon and post-silicon. Pre-silicon means before the silicon is manufactured, right? Post-silicon is after silicon is manufactured. Okay, it is called SI stands for silicon. We all know, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so pre-silicon execution. So before silicon is manufactured, that is pre-silicon execution, and post-silicon execution is after silicon is fabricated. Okay. So let us say what is pre-silicon execution. So there's going to be a huge, we'll see that in detail. This contains a lot of steps. We'll go through this phase and see in very detail later on. Okay. For now, today you understand you made a plan here, right? The planning is you made a plan, right? So you're with us to the plan, you have to execute as per the plan. Okay. You put a schedule and everything, right? So based on the plan and schedule, you have to execute with different milestones, and you have to track to the milestones and with respect to the agreed quality levels. Your milestones are important. Your quality is also important, right? I spoke about, what did you say about quality? I told a tagline for quality. What did I say? In the previous classes.
USP, sir.
No, quality. I told quality is very important. We all know, right? I give a lot of examples.
Long lasting time period.
Okay. I told a tagline or some punchline kind of thing I told, right? In some movies, they'll say one particular line is multiple times. So it become punch dialogue. No, people all keep telling any movies you take, Telugu movie or Hindi movie, right? There'll be one line they'll keep telling repeatedly, or one piece of music track will keep repeated multiple times. So that'll become very popular, right? So there's something called a tagline. I told something. Okay, let me go back to the slide. Yeah, see here. What is written here? You remember or you forgot?
We remember, sir.
Yeah, so you should tell. So what is this one? Quality products. Others have to go back and start again. See, I want people to be attentive and answer, right? Because unless you understand, it'll be waste of my effort, right? You have to ask questions we don't understand. When I ask questions, you should expect answer. No silence, right? It's very difficult to teach in online class. I think you all been in 2020, the COVID situation, 2021, you all attended online classes, right? How difficult it was. So it will go very slow. For me also, it is very difficult, right? So you have to ask questions, you have to interact. Otherwise, online classes will be a failure, okay? Today also some people told me they are COVID batch. I don't know who told. Yeah, I forgot, right? That's why people are not doing well for passing out, right? I told that is not the case. Everyone went through COVID, right? Not just you and me, entire world, right? A farmer still farmed. He's still like a producer, like now he has yield crops and all. He still did. Poor has to manufacture something, your soaps, toothpaste, or whatever, right? Still they manufactured them. Medicines, you manufacture medicines. They manufacture masks in addition, right? Identify masks and regular masks, right? They become cheaper. Everyone did their work, right? So students also should do their work. You cannot say I studied in COVID, so I didn't understand anything. I will not accept that. That's not a true statement. Okay. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
So it should not take excuses, right? So I said, I had posted the LinkedIn, I'll repeat it again. Very important statement. Focus on the solutions, not on the problem, not on the people. Okay. So write it down in your notebooks, in your class notes. This is a very, very important lesson. Throughout your last minute, you leave this earth, you should always do this. To all the volunteers and all the students, including it's applicable to me also. I practice that, right? Typically, I tell when I practice that, only I teach you, right? So practicing, I don't. So you should focus on the solution. Don't focus on the problem. Don't focus on the people. Okay. Write it and underline that. Okay. What does it mean? Can you give me any example from your daily life? Just 1 second, I have to take this call. Okay. Hello. Hello. நாளைக்கு மார்னிங் வந்துடும் சார். அப்படி அனுப்பிச்சிட்டாங்க. வந்துருக்கும். அவங்க மெட்ராஸ்ல தான் இருக்கு அப்படின்னாக்கா கரெக்டா? நாளைக்கு எப்படி வருவாரு? சரி, கொடுக்கட்டும் பரவாயில்ல. Madras brothers இருக்காங்க உங்களுக்கு. ஆமா. ம். 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 ஆமா ஆமா வந்துருவோம். கோயம்பேடுல அவங்க ஆபீஸ் எப்போ திறக்கிறாங்களோ திறந்து உங்களுக்கு கொண்டு கொடுத்துருவாங்க. என் பையன் வந்து கொடுத்துருவான் உங்களுக்கு. எங்க கொடுக்கணும்னு விசிட் பண்ணுங்க எனக்கு. அங்க கொண்டு வந்து கொடுத்துருவான் அவன். சரிங்களா? சரி. மணிப்பாக்கம். ஆமா. சரி, என் பையனை கோஆர்டினேட் பண்ண சொல்றேன். ஓகே, நன்றிங்க. So, sorry, it was an extremely important call I had to take. Okay, sorry about it. Okay, so what we are talking? Can somebody rephrase?
Focus on the solutions, not on the people and the products.
So, can you give me an example?
I think
Okay, I'll give a problem. I'll give a scenario, right? And you develop on that. So you booked the Tatkal tickets in the train? Has anybody booked the Tatkal tickets in the train?
No, sir.
No? Any one of you has booked tickets in Tatkal? Any of my volunteers here?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. None of my volunteers also not booked tickets. So let me see what are they meeting. I'm taking a bad example then. Okay. Okay. So let me give an example myself. It's okay, right? So Tatkal tickets for a regular sleeper class opens at 11 a.m. If you want to travel day after tomorrow, that is on Monday. So Sunday 11 o'clock, the ticket will open online in IRCT website. Okay. So 11 o'clock sharp, you have to get there. 1 minute before it will not allow. So you have to just log in exactly at the same, right? So everyone will try to log in, obviously, right? So you'll be slow, you may not get tickets sometimes. That's a problem statement. So what will you do when such a situation happens? What is your reaction? You're trying to get your ticket, or you're trying to book a ticket for a cricket match. Let's assume, you hope you all see IPL, right? Let's say IPL is happening in your hometown or wherever, right? You try to book the tickets online or go to queue, or movie tickets. Let's take easy. Everyone sees a movie here, right? You go to movie, first day, first show. First day, first show. Or you want to book a ticket. You go to, there, a huge line will be there. You're going to stand there. You don't get a ticket. Okay? Very likely. If a hit movie, who is a popular actor? I don't know, right? Any popular actor is releasing movies getting released. You're not getting the ticket. Okay, that is a problem statement. So what will you do when you don't get the tickets typically? What is your reaction? Hello.
Yes.
What is your reaction? Did I ask a very difficult question? Like, please help me understand. Is my voice audible properly?
Sir, I'm having an internet
Yes,
issue.
sir.
Your voice breaks, sir. Will you please repeat the question?
Okay. Okay. I'll repeat again. You are booking a ticket for first day, first show. First day, first show, you're booking a ticket. You're standing in a long line. You're not getting the ticket for whatever reason, because the queue was very long, seats were limited, right? You're not getting the movie ticket. What will be your reaction? Hmm? Sorry.
Will be upset.
Will be upset. Okay, very good. Any other reactions?
I can change the time to take next show, sir.
Okay, that is a solution, right? That is not reaction. Okay, that is a solution. You already went to a solution driven mode. Very good. Okay, you're focused on the solution. Very good. So that is a problem statement. Guru Mohan has a solution. I was asking about, you blame people. No, suddenly, oh, this guy, they were, you know, somebody entered the line in between. This guy, he's selling the tickets in the black. That's how we react typically. So you are normal human beings, right? So that's what we react typically, right? We blame others, correct? So don't do that. So don't focus on people and don't focus on the problem. As Gurmohan was saying, you focus on the solution. You go to next show, or if you really want to see first day first show, you stand early in the morning in front of the ticket counter. Get up at 4 o'clock, go and stand. If it is very important to say first day first show, so you have to do like that, right? You go and sleep the previous night or stand very early in the morning to get the ticket. Okay, understand? That is also one of the solution. Or you see the next show. Okay. So you have to focus on the solutions always, not on the problem, not on the people. Okay, I think I kind of got diverted. So guys, I expect you to answer any questions I ask. Please answer. Any of you have internet issues? You don't have a dongle, please let us know. Please post in the classroom. We issued 5 dongles so far, 4 laptops and 5 dongles. Right? So all 5 of you got the dongle, you got the dongles, right? Who you sent?
Yes, sir.
You're using it. You put a SIM card, you're using it, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So anybody needs any help, please contact us. Just send us an email or WhatsApp. We'll see what we can do. Some of you are still saying you have bad internet, right? So let us know if you need any help. Let us know. Okay. Yeah, otherwise, if you don't communicate properly, there is expectation what I have showed you, right? So if you don't communicate properly, you'll not be able to learn, and I'll not have confidence. Then we'll close down this entire class in 2 months' time, 1 month or 2 months. Believe me, it will happen. Okay. So if you don't interact, the classes will stop automatically after a few months. I also will lose interest. Okay. And your other faculties also will lose interest. So you have to participate and interact. That's very, very important. Your academic classes in your college, you may not ask questions. You are not encouraged to ask questions most of the time. I know. I also work in a college. I'm also working in a college. Right. So you have to interact. I always tell my students ask questions. Right. So I expect all of you to interact in the classroom. Offline, you can interact. It's up to you. But that is in the classroom. You have to ask questions. Okay. So here that the pre-silicon execution, you already made a plan. You set certain quality levels for every milestone. What is the expected quality? There are various milestones. We are not getting into details now. Execution is a lot of details are there, right? So that's what's shown as one big bar, but there is a lot of sub phases are there. We'll see that in detail later on, right? Hardware development, software development, everything will happen in parallel, right? Verification will happen in parallel. So we'll see that in detail later on. So for you to understand the pre-silicon phase before the tape out. So a lot of things you have to execute. This execution phase. What is execution means?
Make anything to work.
Okay.
Implementing the plan.
Correct. Very good. Yes. Very good. So that is implementing the plan is execution. Very good. Right. So you have to execute as per the plan and meet all the small intermediate milestones and do it in a good quality. Okay. So every time you say quality, the cost increases by a factor of 10. We'll see that later on. Right. You made a mistake. Let's say initial stage, fix it. It's easy. In the second stage or third stage, you want to fix that. It will be some cost associated with this. Right. It's very important. So you have to fix it as soon as possible. I'll give an example. Okay, cooking. Right. You while cooking itself, you know how much salt you have to put. Let's say you forget to put the salt. So what you can do?
Later on, we can add the salt, sir.
Yes.
Mix.
Very good. Very good. You can add salt later on, but you will have somebody has to eat. Then that guy will know there is no salt. Then he'll scold the person who cooked, very likely, right? You may politely point out as a good person, or somebody will raise the voice and tell why this person is cooking like that, right? They'll shout. Okay, what if you put more salt?
The
Should be,
food is
there'll be a waste. Food will be waste typically, right? More salt, correct? So the quality is very important. So you add right amount of salt. Sometimes while cooking the food, you taste it and see sometimes. So you put some salt, you taste is it okay? Could you add a little bit more salt, correct? So every mistake has a cost associated with it. So that's what I'm trying to tell you, okay? Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Very good. So that is the execution phase. Again, we'll talk about it later. So once you finish your hardware and software, everything is ready and has been fully verified in the pre-silicon. You try send that to fabrication. India is trying to set up the fabrication. In India, they are in Gujarat. There are fabrication plant. There is a company called Vedanta. So if in partnership with a company called Foxconn, they are setting up a fabrication unit. There are more fabrication units are going to come to India. If you go to any of the IITs, they have a nano fabrication units are there, right? Go to nearest IITs, most of the colleges, they have a fabrication unit. If you are in Bangalore, near Bangalore, you can go to IISC. They have a visitors day once in a month. They allow visitors. You can go look at the facilities. They have some fabrication, nano fabrication units are there. IIT Mumbai has something. IIT Chennai has a display fabrication. Okay, so most of the IITs they have, and there's IIT in Hyderabad also. So they may also have fabrication. I'm not sure. You can check the websites. So it's a good idea to go to IITs and check here in nearest place and see if we can look at, get approval and ask your faculties to take you there. Okay. It'll be good to go and see so that you will not now once you understand how a chip is designed, you can go and see. Don't go look at tomorrow. So maybe 6 months from now, if you go and look at it, you may understand certain things. Okay. Now, if you don't know anything, go and see, it'll be a waste of time. It's like seeing a French movie without knowing French. The subtitles you'll understand. If there's no subtitles, seeing a French movie or a Chinese movie, it's all waste. You won't understand anything, right? Except you know that the guy is laughing or is fighting. That's what you'll understand. Okay. Okay. So after you fabricate the chip, and the chip comes from the fabrication, it comes up, right? The three terminologies I'll tell you. It's very just note down. There is something called a wafer, something called a die, something called a packaged part. It's not written here, just write it down in a notebook. Wafer. When you say wafer, what does it come to your mind? When you say wafer,
Thin layer, edible wafer.
edible wafer, wafer biscuit, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So wafer will be very thin. As I said, it will be very thin. It's called wafer. There will be multiple dyes with D-I-E is dye. Okay. Not dye, death, not the dye. This is called dye. Dye and dice. Dye is a singular, dice is a plural. Right. So dye is one particular silicon chip is called a dye. But the wafer will be a round and shape. Let me see if we can draw it. I don't know how good I'm drawing. I'm just attempted. So this will be your wafer. Okay. Since this is a wafer, there will be small dice will be there. I'm just showing only one place. Like this, there are many dice will be there. The two dice I'm showing, this is one die. Like that, there can be many dies in a wafer. Okay. And this die, what we'll do is we'll cut this. What we fabricate is a wafer is what the fabrication unit fabricates. They'll test the die, they test the wafer, they'll test the die. We'll see all those in detail. They'll cut this one particular die and do something called packaging. Have you all seen a chip? How does it look in your labs? Your electronics lab, log chip, how does chip looks like?
Sealed.
Sealed. Okay, that's called a package. Okay. Have everyone seen a chip? How chip looks like?
Yes, sir.
Anyone not seen? Raise the hand. Okay, search Google, otherwise you'll find out how a packaged chip. So you package it with the dip package, simple, a dual in package. Then there are many advanced packages out there. Let's not go there. So you have to put a plastic material and you have to bring a lead out of it, the contacts. The chip has to be connected to a board. So that'll come. Did I cover about that? Yeah. So this is the board, right? We covered what is the system. So we covered this. This is a board. This is a board. What you see here is a board. So this is a board. Okay. And this is a chip. What are you manufacturing? This chip will have multiple pins, either below the chip or the side of the chip, based on the package. Right? This is a chip. Not seen, you can see this one, right? So you have to solder that on your board using the pins or the balls, whatever you call it. That package will be soldered on your printed circuit board. Okay. So that part is called packaging. Okay. So we spoke about wafer, we spoke about die, and we spoke about package, right? So what is after packaging? That's what you get your labs. You'll get a chip in your lab, then you run actual software, you write some diagnostic software initially to check basic functions are working or not. In parallel, the software also will be running on that particular chip. They'll test the entire system. Okay, that is called post-silicon execution, post-silicon validation. What is it called? Post-silicon testing or post-silicon validation. So when the chip comes from there are various levels of testing and validation. We'll see that later on. Okay. So then we'll do something called engineering samples and customer samples. So I'll briefly tell about what engineering sample. 15 minutes. Okay. So engineering sample means you test up to some extent. You don't test the complete functionality. You check the basic functionality is working. So if it is a phone, it's going to make a phone calls. All the user interface is working properly. Basic specifications has to be working or not working, that you check. It's called engineering samples, or ES for short. Engineering samples, that's called, right? So that means it will allow the customers to pick up your chips and software. They'll start building their board like this, right? What we showed here, right? They'll start building this kind of board, and they have to put other chips in there. They have to start testing their entire system, right? So that'll enable them to start their board validation. They're testing their own software. They can write and testing. They'll do it in parallel to your testing. So the engineering samples will be happening. Let me see if we can show a diagram. So these engineering samples. Let's say take up this trend, customer sampling. You continue to do your testing. Some relative. So here you are doing engineering sampling. Particular date, right? So testing will continue to happen. So then finally you send to customers. That's what you want to do. It means you release your chip for production. Production. What is the production in bulk quantities? You can manufacture the chip. 10 million, 20 billion. Much more volume. That many chips you will buy. You'll test it and ship to customers. Engineering samples will be 2 tens or few hundreds or few thousands. You give a sample. When you buy a sweet in a shop, let's say you're buying some sweet, laddu or whatever, right? Pick up any local sweet, some milk sweet or something you're buying, some juice sweet varieties in the market. What will you do? You'll ask for a taste, right? Correct? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Then you give a simple, small one piece, he'll give you basically, right? You taste it and see it is looking good or not, right? So that is why then you buy in a bulk. You buy 2 kgs of, you like it, you buy 2 kgs or 3 kgs of that sweet. Okay. Depends on your budget, right? So engineering sample is like very like tasting your sweet or any dish in a sweet shop, a bakery or sweet shop, whatever it is, right? So that is the example. So you send some samples, so the customer will start working on the design. But meanwhile, you start doing your complete testing. You'll be doing it. Testing or validation will be happening. Right? When everything is fully tested, the hardware and software is fully tested. Then you test it on multiple volumes. You produce in bulk. Then you ship it to the customer. Okay. So life of the product begins here. That's what it says here, right? So you can go. Life of product begins here. Till that time, so we compare with the human life cycle. What is the analogy you can give it? Can you compare with the human life cycle? Let me go to the diagram. I hate silent classes. I'm telling you repeatedly. This is a human life cycle we saw. Okay. So how do you compare with this product life cycle? What we discussed? Okay, keep this slide in mind. Let me go. Now you compare with the diagram with this particular. This is also product level development cycle, right? That is shown circularly, but it is shown horizontally in a different format. So can you give an analogy, some comparison between human life cycle and a product development cycle? What corresponds to what?
Life of product may be compared with the fertilized egg, sir.
This is like a birth of a baby, I would say, right?
Birth
Your
of a baby.
life of product begins when a baby is born. Then you say 1 day old, 2 day old. Your baby's age is not counted from by the time the fetus formed in the stomach, actually, right?
Yes, sir.
The baby's life starts when the baby is born. You see celebrated birthdays, right?
Yes, sir.
Correct. So life of a product begins here means life of the human baby. So baby is born. There are previous stages prior to the stomach. Right. Go back to the diagram. So baby is born. So these stages, fertilized egg and fetus, then the baby. So here is the product, life of the product begins. This is all the design of the product. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hope this is clear, right? So the product is born. This is the birthday of the product. So you can celebrate every year, you know, when the product you have designed and sent to customer. Every year you can celebrate that. Okay. So this is a high level description. So we'll see each of those phases in detail. Any questions so far? We're going to see a strategy phase, planning phase, executive delivery phase, and we'll see in very detail. This is a high level picture. So any questions on this so far? Any doubts?
No, sir.
If you have doubts, please post in the classroom. We'll answer.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Niharika.
It is clear, sir.
Very good. Thank you. Okay. So first phase is strategy phase, right? This is a plan we have seen so far, right? Strategy, plan, execute. After execute, also delivery phase, right? That's here. But test is one phase we are adding it here. We'll see that later on. So what is the strategy phase? First phase is strategy phase. These are 4 phases, right? We're going to talk each of the phases in detail. So strategy phase, we're summarizing, right? Gather all new product requirements. Okay. Gather the new product requirements. So what does it mean? We spoke about that in the previous classes. Hello.
What that
to build that product, specifications, cost.
Like specifications.
Can you give me some examples?
When you took a mobile phone, it requires 6 GB of RAM and 128 GB of storage.
Very good.
Octa
Octa-core. Very good.
Snapdragon processor.
Very good. Very
Octa.
good. Yeah, very good. Let's stop there. Very good. So you have to gather all the requirements, right? What are customer requirements? You have to collect everything. Based on requirement, you write a requirement specification, right? Tomorrow we are going to talk. I told you an example. Take your own related product. You have to present what is the requirement specification, right? Tomorrow at 2 p.m. we'll discuss it. Anything, any product, any electronic product. Tomorrow you are going to present the requirement specification. Okay.
okay, sir.
Everyone is going to present tomorrow. Okay. The next step is what? Define USP and differentiate in terms of roadmap. What is USP? We spoke about that before.
Unique selling point.
Dragon processor.
Okay. What does it mean?
Unique selling point.
That means how unique it is from other products. What makes it special from others?
Very good. Compared to others means your competitors, right? Why people should buy your phone, not somebody XYZ's phone? Should have high quality and should have a lower price. We gave food examples, right? We gave your aloo paratha example, biryani example, and everything, correct?
Yes, sir.
So your quality should be very good, and still you should sell at a relatively cheaper price. Okay, but you should not make losses also at the same time. You cannot say I'll send biryani for 2 rupees. No, you cannot say that. No, the shop will be shut next day. You cannot make profit. You have to make profit, obviously, right? And so you should differentiate in terms of roadmap, right? So whatever chips are coming in the market, your result should be much better than other chips, right? Define price targets. What does it mean? We had spoke about all those things. Now we are calling it out separately. What does the price target mean?
The price should be relevant.
Correct. Give me example on the price. Example product, example price. Again, food. Go compare the food examples what we discussed in 1 or 2 classes before.
2 idli and vada for 20 rupees is
2
a
idli and vada
is
for
a price
30 rupees.
target.
Very good example. That is a price target, right? Okay. Then next is what? Product comparison and metric within existing products and against the competition. Your company may have hundreds of similar products or few products within the company. Then you have to compare against the competition also. Okay. You have to compare. Let's say you're buying a phone. You will obviously compare with 10 phones, right? You want to buy a Vivo phone or Oppo phone or Xiaomi phone or Apple phone or Samsung phone or at least 5-6 products you'll compare. Then look at the prices, you look at the features, you'll read the reviews, then you'll buy the phone, right? Correct?
Yes, sir.
So when you're designing product also, you have to do that's for buying. So when you're designing a product, still you have to do the same comparative study. If you make a chip, these certain features or certain cost you sell. So you should know what your customers are already working on. You should get that you should have some detectives to get the information. Because to design a product will take 3 years, right? Typically industry. Any chips from the scratch to I think it'll take 3 years, minimum 3 years with best of people in the entire world working together. Okay. So then you should know if you don't know what your competitor is going to do in 3 years, what will happen? He'll do a better product at a cheaper price. No? Correct. Then whatever effort you put for 3 years is going to be waste. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good. Okay. So key lookouts and management objectives. So let's see what does this mean. Are product specs appealing and line up with roadmap? Right? Every company will have a roadmap. Let's say I'm designing mobile chips. They'll plan a roadmap every year. Apple will plan, for example, check Apple. You have iPhone. What is the latest iPhone now?
iPhone 14.
14. So iPhone 11 to 14 does come, right? iPhone 11 to 14 or 1 to 14, whatever, right? iPhone 15 will come next September, next year, or this year, September, it will come. Every year, in August, September timeframe, they release the phone, if I am right. I may be wrong. You can check up, there's a specific month, every year a product, at least one product they will launch it, one iPhone they will launch. Typically, it has in the month of September when I was working in, at least 4 or 5 years ago when I was in industry. That's what I remember. I may be wrong. Okay. So they will have a roadmap. They'll plan this products, this chips will release. I'll try and show example roadmap. One of the volunteers take action item for me. Yes, can you write down? I'll share what are the Qualcomm roadmap in the public domain. I'll look at the Qualcomm website. I'll share that what is the roadmap, right? So for example, let me give some example for you to understand. Okay, you have a restaurant. Again, let's talk about the food business, right? 4 minutes. Right? So I'll give you food. It's okay to go slow, but I want you to understand the concept. Let's say I'm starting a new restaurant today. So first day I'll make only idli and chutney. Only one side dish, one main dish I'll make. I'll see how it is selling. Next day I'll make idli and dosa and 2 side dishes, chutney and sambar. And next day I'll add a paratha on top of it. No? That's you will see how your business is going based on your plan. Right? But if everything goes okay, you'll continue, you'll have a plan, you'll execute as per the plan. Sometimes business is going dull, let's say because of COVID. Then you have to scale down your plan, you have to change your roadmap, right? You'll say, I'll cater to 20 customers in the first month, you'll say. That's what your capacity. Let's say you are making good profits, then I'll add 50 customers the next month, you'll say. You'll work towards that. You'll have to hire more cooks, buy more raw materials, and you'll make more food. What 50 people? Next month, you'll say, I want to cook for 100 people. Right? And I want to add more dishes. Either your business grows, after they'll say, I'll do catering. Any marriage, any family functions, I'll supply. right? Then you'll say, I'll form another city, I'll go and start my business, correct? If you're Andhra, you'll say, I'll go to Telangana. Next, you'll go to Karnataka, you'll say, right? So that is your roadmap. Typically, that's what it works. So similarly, when you design chips, also there'll be roadmaps. I'll try and show you an example. If it is in public domain, I'll show you. Anything confidential, I cannot share. I'll look at anything in public domain, I'll try and share it. Okay, now the volunteer should remind me. Okay, so it's called a roadmap. Okay.
I have just pasted the roadmap.
Who is that?
Vignesh.
Okay, Vignesh, yeah. So yeah, let the people can open it and see from the chat window. Okay. Very good. Thank you. Okay. How are the product goals aggressive in terms of the USP and cost? Right? It's very obvious question. Aggressive means what? Is it competitive enough? That's what aggressive means. The product goals aggressive in terms of cost and quality, in terms of reliability, performance, security, power, or everything, right? Or called KPI, key performance index. So in terms of KPI, is a product competitive in terms of cost, in terms of performance, in terms of all your USP? You define something USP, right? Compared to USP, is it still? You ask the questions basically, right? Is it meeting the management objectives? So you have to check all those things basically, right? Then you do something called risk analysis and trade-offs. So let's talk only risk analysis. Trade-offs you can talk in the next class, tomorrow or next class. I want to end the class. A few things. I have another meeting at 8 o'clock. What is risk analysis? What is risk? What is analysis? Can some of you tell? What is risk and what is analysis?
Taking a challenge, even if it feels difficult.
Give an example. Always instead of defining, show an example. Give me any example, day-to-day life. Not an example. Give me day-to-day life. Give me example for risk.
In armies, there is a enemy to kill her.
Correct.
We have to take risk to.
You're risking your life to save the nation, right?
Yes, sir.
Very good, Guru Mohan. Very good. So okay, what is risk? So what is analysis? Then we'll see risk analysis. What do you mean by term analysis?
Making a detailed study about what are the situations.
Okay. Very good. So what is risk analysis then? Combine both and tell. Any other volunteers?
So making a detailed report about what risks we might encounter and how it might be solved. That is risk.
Very good. Can you give an example again? Very good definition. I agree. Give an example.
Sir, in stock markets, we have to spend money on any stocks. We have to analysis first what happened before years about that product.
Very good. Give him a big hand, man. Clap. Very good, Guru Mohan. Excellent example. Excellent example. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Guru Mohan. Right? Okay. So I'll end the class at 8 o'clock. So stock market is a very good example. You have to analyze before you invest appropriate stock. You have to understand the risk. Stocks or mutual funds, whatever it is. Okay. We'll stop here. You take your class notes, review and submit it. And we'll meet tomorrow at 2 p.m. Okay. And please make sure that you have the invites. Don't send me WhatsApp messages. Today I saw 2 students ping me when I was in class. I was distracted. So please don't send messages during the meeting. I'll not respond. It's your response to make sure that you have calendar invites. If it is not there, please post in the classroom. We'll make sure that you have the calendar invite. Okay. And you have to accept the calendar invites. Any invitation, you have to accept it. Okay. So don't send messages in the WhatsApp.
Okay, sir.
I don't have a link. No, don't do that. After the class has started, right? So typically we are busy. I don't know when we'll get busy. We cannot predict our times at all. So you have to make sure that we send the invite in advance. This is like recurring meeting. The same invite will be valid for next 1 year. So it's a Saturday invite, this is a Sunday invite. Okay. Links are not going to change at all. So the same link will be there for Saturdays and Sundays. Okay. So your response to make sure that it's in the calendar, you have to accept it and you have to track it. I'll not even respond. Next time you ask, it's not my problem. You have to fix yourself. Okay. If it's not in calendar, please ask us, will one of the volunteers, they will forward the calendar to you. Okay. Okay, so we are running out of time. We'll see tomorrow. Okay. See you everyone. Good night.
Okay, sir.